Then we have to discuss about the body which framed our constitution, which is called as Constituent Assembly. Then towards the end, I am also going to discuss about the national honors and symbols like the national anthem, the national song, the flag, the emblem, the calendar of India. So these things will come under the last part. This is framing of the constitution. Once we finish with framing of the constitution, we have to discuss about this is the most important topic in this part. The reason why this is important is, here I am going to tell you about different concepts. Last time also I told you, India is democratic, but India also is parliamentary form. India is federal form. So how is India all this? Salient features of Indian constitution are basically, what are the unique features of Constitution of India? Meaning these features will tell you how our constitution is special or unique. So basically it will tell you the difference, helps us differentiate between Indian constitution and other constitutions of the world. Okay, and please remember, this topic we deal with a lot of concepts. Ensure that you don't miss this topic at all, because following the later part becomes very difficult. This is the basis for polity. Okay, this will take some time. And the fourth one that we are going to discuss is constitutional amendments. We make several changes to the constitution. How do we make the changes? Who has the power to make the changes? All that. I am going to start this by discussing types of majorities, meaning how voting happens in parliament and state legislature. Towards the end, I am going to discuss about most important amendments till date. What are the most important amendments till date? Okay, all this will be discussed under constitutional amendments. Now, when it comes to your tests, you'll have these two together. You'll be your test 1. This will be test 2. And this is going to be test 3. I usually combine small topics for a test. If it is a big topic, I give a separate test. Please make a note of this. Start it in a separate notes if you have one, because this is going to be the beginning of polity. The next thing that we're going to discuss is once we finish the introduction, we are going to move on to the philosophy of the constitution. What do we mean by philosophy of the constitution? Basically, whenever you do something, there should be a purpose for it. Whenever I write a book, there should be a purpose for it. Likewise, whenever you have a constitution, it should have some purpose. Meaning, what does it want to achieve? Okay, that is nothing but the second part, philosophy of constitution. You have to be clear about what of the constitution. It simply answers the question, we need this constitution. Ultimately, what will be the aims and objectives of the constitution? What does it seek to achieve? That is philosophy. The philosophy of the constitution, all the provisions ultimately seek to achieve the purpose of the constitution, But there are 3 specific chapters in your constitution that are more important. Firstly, how do I know what is the purpose of the constitution? What is the philosophy is given in preamble. So basically, preamble spells out or tells us the aims and aspirations of the constitution. What does it want to achieve ultimately is given in the preamble. So first we are going to read about the preamble. Once we read the preamble, we should then understand how you achieve. This is what. The next question is how. Meaning, what are the means to achieve what is declared in the preamble. For this how, my first answer would be fundamental rights, which is given under which is given from articles 12 to 35. The most important chapter in your syllabus, because remember, every word that is written under this is important for your syllabus. It is very important, it is very lengthy. We are going to discuss right from the meaning of the word rights to case laws related to these rights. I'm sure you must have heard of several Supreme Court judgments. So we are going to discuss various Supreme Court judgments related to fundamental rights. By the end of this chapter, we will at least have 50 to 55 case laws, but we are not going to discuss the whole case. We just need to know the name of the case, what is the specific judgment that Supreme Court has given, and how is it related to fundamental rights. Very famous, if you have heard over these few years, is Section 377 of Indian Penal Code. Did any of you hear about it? What is Section 377 related to? Section 377. Did you hear about a community called LGBTQ? What is LGBTQ? Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender. Section 377 is related to that, and Section 377 has been declared invalid by Supreme Court. It has been partially declared invalid by Supreme Court in which of the following cases? Or Section 377 is related to which of the following? It is basically a violation of Article 21. So it has been declared invalid because of the violation of which of the following rights? So this is how the questions will be asked on cases. Right to privacy, you must have heard there was a case in which Supreme Court declared right to privacy is a part of fundamental rights. So like this, there will be several judgments of Supreme Court that we are going to discuss in the course of fundamental rights. Again, this is the most important topic. You are expected to get more questions from here, and it is dynamic because there will be a lot of interpretations by the court. Okay, once we finish this, the second important tool to achieve the aspirations of the Constitution is Directive principles of state policy, also known in short as DPSP. Okay. The third is fundamental duties. There will be other provisions in the Constitution where they talk about, where they seek to achieve the aims and aspirations of the Constitution, but the most important would be rights, directives and duties. So this set will be your second part. If we complete this part, this is nearly 20% of your syllabus, because this itself takes us more than 10 to 12 hours to finish. Okay, so your next test will be, this would be test 4, test 5, and these two together you're going to have test 6. Okay, make a note of this now. Now, see, first we started with understanding how the Constitution came into existence. Then we started understanding, we're going to understand what is the purpose of the Constitution and how it will be achieved. Now, once we understand these, the next thing that we should understand is a very important part of our daily lives, that is government. So the third part that we are going to discuss is about government. Now watch this carefully. The first level of government in India is called as, we call it as Government of India. Okay. In this, we have what is called as, I'm going to explain what is executive, legislature, judiciary, government, governance, all this in the introduction chapter. So don't worry about that. Legislature and judiciary. Along with these three, there is another important office called CAG, under Union Government. Under executive, you will have president followed by vice president, then there will be prime minister and council of ministers. And the last office is called as attorney general. All these people are called as executive. So we are going to study about all these offices. Legislature, it is president and two houses. What are the two houses in parliament? Union legislature in India is called as parliament, and in parliament you have council of states, which we generally call as Rajya Sabha, and house of people. You should specifically know what is given in the constitution. Constitution does not mention the words Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. It only talks about council of states and house of people. Then in judiciary in center, we have only one court, that is Supreme Court. Okay, so we are going to, first will be union government. Then after this we will have, but state government we will have executive, legislature, judiciary. There is no CAG. CAG only comes under union government. In this, again executive, going by what I have written there, will have governor. We don't have a deputy or assistant governor. So, we will have CM and council of, and in place of AG, we again have AG, who is called as advocate general. In legislature, you should have, must have governor and state legislative assembly, whose members are called as MLAs. You may have optional, not compulsory, is state legislative council, whose members are called as MLCs. Okay, judiciary will have high court, followed by, I'm sure you must have heard of district court, sessions court, magistrate court, criminal justice court. All those things are called as subordinate courts. So we are going to study these things under state government. Then the third level is, after central union government, state government, we have a different arrangement for, have you heard of these places? A different arrangement. It is controlled by the center, but they can, some of the union territories can have government, some union territories will not have government. There will be an administrator or a lieutenant governor, all that will come under union territories. Then the ninth will be local self-government, in which we have panchayats, and we will have municipalities. Along with these two, because it is in succession, I usually complete a topic called cooperative societies. I'm sure you must have heard of cooperatives. So we are going to discuss cooperatives also under this. Then there is another area called scheduled and tribal areas. We have a different administrative setup for scheduled and tribal areas. Why is it like that? Because the tribal lifestyle is different. So we have to ensure that the government in those places functions according to their lifestyle, according to their culture, according to their social institutions. So we will have a separate setup for scheduled and tribal areas, in which we are going to discuss the provisions of two schedules. Schedule 5, which deals with scheduled areas, and Schedule 6, which deals with tribal areas. Okay. So this overall will be the structure of government. Now, how are we going to proceed? We are not going to study like this. What we are going to first do is, I am writing it here, we are going to first finish off with union and state executive, because we have to study president in comparison with governor, CM and council of ministers in comparison with PM and council of ministers. Why like this? Because almost all the provisions will be the same. So it is easy to remember. Okay. Followed by union and state legislature. Then we are going to discuss Indian judiciary, the courts in one chapter. Then we are going to discuss 4 CAG. 5, I am going to first finish off with local self-government, that is panchayats, municipalities and cooperatives. The last part will be UTs. 7, scheduled and tribal areas. Okay. This test 7, test 8, test 9, okay, and test 10. Now, CAG, UT's scheduled areas will be one test. Okay, make a note of this, please. After we finish with government, then we have to discuss about Indian federalism, which is nothing but the relationship between center and state. The fourth part would be Indian federalism. This is nothing but what will be the relationship between center and state relations. The first thing that you have to study here is constitutional provisions related to center and state. Constitutional provisions are divided into 3, because there are 3 parts in it. The first is called legislative relations. Second is called executive relations. And the third is called, administrative, executive, basically administrative relations. The third is called as financial relations. Within this, within the constitution, you will also come across under this bodies like GST Council, Interstate Council. Along with this, I am going to complete other bodies that deal with center-state relations, like the zonal councils. Once we finish with this part, the second aspect of center-state relations will be, there are various committees appointed on center-state relations. Most important being the Rajmannar Commission, the Sarkaria Commission, the Madan Mohan Punchi Commission. And then the third aspect of this will be what will be the relationship between states, interstate relations. This will be federalism. Features of federalism in India I will discuss in salient features. After we finish, this will be your test 12. After we finish this, the next topic will be the various authorities in government apart from executive, legislature, judiciary. Okay. These authorities are called as constitutional bodies. I'm sure you must have heard of this term constitutional bodies, statutory bodies. So we are going to discuss constitutional bodies and statutory bodies. Now, constitutional bodies, basically, this is how it goes. The first we are going to discuss would be public service commissions, like State Public Service Commission. I'm sure you must have heard of UPSC. Okay. The next is Election Commission of India. NCSC, NCST, NCBC. National Commission for SCs, for STs, for BCs. The last is Special Officer for linguistic minorities. But we are not just going to read about these bodies, we are also going to understand the provisions related to these bodies. Matlab, here we are going to study about public services in India. Here we are going to study about elections, your right to vote, qualifications, disqualifications as given in the Constitution. Here we are going to study about special provisions, meaning there will be certain relaxations for SCs and STs, certain provisions for Anglo-Indians which have been removed, certain provisions for BCs, all that will come under special provisions. Then this is one of the most talked about provision of the Constitution, it's official languages, has been constantly in news. So we are going to study all this along with constitutional bodies. This is going to be the order. Here you have a topic called tribunals, which I am going to take separately, as you need to know what is a quasi-judicial body, how is it different from a court. Okay, what is the difference between a tribunal and a quasi-judicial body? Why do you need quasi-judicial bodies? Once we finish with this, statutory bodies, we are going to study about National Commission for Women, National Commission for Minorities, National Human Rights Commission. Then in your syllabus they have given Lokpal, CVC, Central Vigilance Commission, Central Information Commission, State Information Commission. Now what are we going to study about all this? We should first know about who appoints them. Are they appointed by the President? Are they appointed by the central government? 2. What is their composition? Is it a single member body, multi-member body? What are the qualifications required to be appointed to these bodies? What type of a body is it? Is it constitutional, statutory, quasi-judicial, advisory? Okay. 5. What are its powers and functions? 6. Does it submit a report to whom, when? All these things we are going to study with respect to these bodies. Make a note of this. Here I am going to conduct one test on this whole thing. So it's going to be test 13. Please make a note of this now. It goes without saying that after I complete every topic, I am going to conduct a test. So as I am giving, the reason why I tell you about the test is also is because you are expected to prepare accordingly. that is National Commission. There you have first one is women. NC is National Commission. The last but one is Central Vigilance Commission. The last is Central Information Commission, State Information Commission. Now the last part of your polity syllabus would be, after we finish with all this, there will be two topics. One is election systems. As far as APPSC is concerned, there are certain topics mentioned which actually form a part of society in TSPSC. So I am going to cover them separately. I am just giving you an overview of all the topics that can be dealt with together. Now we deal with this together because we don't have a separate constitution for Telangana and Andhra. It is a single constitution for the entire country. So whatever you study under polity will be the same for both the states. Alright. 6 would be, there will be some miscellaneous topics which I haven't covered earlier. The first would be part 1, that is union and its territory. Then we will discuss about citizenship in India, part 2. I have not listed this chapter earlier, but you can please include emergency provisions under Indian federalism, because one of the most controversial provisions in India with respect to center-state relations is emergency. Please include it under Indian federalism. After interstate relations, please include it under Indian federalism. Okay, this will be 6. The 7th part will be election system in India and party system. Party system is, a topic where we are going to discuss about what do you mean by a political party, meaning characteristics of political party. Okay, what are the different types of party systems? How do you register a party in India? Okay, registration of political party in India. And most important is, I'm sure you must have heard of these terms. We usually refer to certain parties as a national party. For example, BJP and Congress are national parties. Then we refer to some parties as MIM is a state party, TRS is a state party. So you have to know what is the criteria to be recognized as a national party, to be recognized as a state party. In election system, we are going to discuss about electoral reforms, the concept of free and fair elections. We always talk about free and fair elections, but we should understand what do we mean by free and fair elections. And for this, we are going to discuss some Supreme Court judgments. There are very important cases related to this, and also there were certain committees appointed to suggest electoral reforms in India, like Dinesh Goswami committee, Vora committee and all. We just at least should know what is the committee related to. So this is the overall syllabus of polity. This is how we divide and we study. Please make a note of this. I hope the basic introduction is clear. I request you all to please read the polity syllabus once from your syllabus book so that you understand how the flow goes. Okay. I'll see you in the next class. Thank you.